When we move from a house and we no longer put our attention into that house, and if the house stays empty, then the house tends to lose, or the energy changes and the house starts to break down.
Yeah.
But yet when other people move into that house and they start redesigning or redecorating, I was wondering about the previous owner's energy in the house and now the new owner's energy. So that's another way of...
Well, it all depends upon your attention to it. We've never met anyone who left a space who didn't continue to think about that space from time to time.
Okay.
Of course, we're talking about focus. Mm-hmm. Someone said to us one day, I've just moved into a house and it feels awful. And I found out why it feels so awful. And so I'm wondering what I should do. Should I just get out? And we said, no, dominate the space. Get into the space and fill it full of your vibration. In other words, no one can be aware, consciously aware of what has happened in the space before. If you are sensitive to energy, sometimes you can feel it. But what's at the heart of your question?
Well, then it goes into asking about our energy, and is it necessary?
Do you understand that your energy is about your focus?
Yes. And I'm calling energy vibration.
Let's get to the heart of this. What do you believe? What's logical to you? What's the source of energy? This is a really good place to start in this conversation. What's the source of this energy that you are addressing?
It's the fact that it's everything, it's the greater part of me is the source of my energy.
But let's see if we can identify what is this energy that is now tangible and discernible, feelable. In other words, you accept it conceptually and you feel it and you know it, but at your jumping in place where you're acknowledging it, what is a reasonable way of explaining what the source of it is? Somebody focused on something and law of attraction put something in motion.
Yes.
In other words, that's all it is. Somebody somewhere focused upon something and law of attraction has put things in motion. And so the energy that you're trying to describe is that very momentum that we've been describing of things flowing from the vortex into your reality. And there's really no place that we cannot jump in and recognize that there is energy in motion because someone has been focusing. Lots of people were here before you got here in this physical body and began focusing. Someone may have lived in the space before you did, or someone may have been involved in the gathering together of the materials even that you put together for your space. Mm-hmm. So there's no real advantage to trying to find the beginning point of the energy in, because the fact of it is, thoughts have been going for a long time. Momentum has been going for a long time, and others are jumping in and continuing the continuity in some way. Our introduction into this conversation and our interest in helping you, all of you, to see it more through the eyes of Source is that we would like you to accept, if you can, the focus of non-physical and the continuity that it adds to everything that you are living, to your powerful moment in time. We want you to feel your part because of what you've put into the vortex. But without non-physical attention, none of what you call this time-space reality would be holding together. In other words, you all live in a house that we are all focused upon.
Right.
And even though you keep changing the draperies, you keep changing the way it looks, you're changing the landscape constantly, and the earth itself is too. So the place is constantly changing and evolving. The attention from non-physical is the continuity that is holding it all together. So now, what does your logic tell you? How would you best benefit as a participant and co-creator in that? To come into alignment.
To come into alignment with my highest, my greatest, my...
And what is that greatest? How much of that focus do you have access to? All of it. But how much of it could you harness and focus in any moment in time? Well, that is yet to be determined.
Right.
In other words, how big a piece of this energy that creates worlds are you going to focus with? How many different things are you going to get hold of? How much are you going to appreciate? How much of this earth are you going to savor and appreciate? How many of those who are walking this planet are you going to hold as your object of attention and see through the eyes of Source? How much are you going to come to know how Source feels about this? When you begin to dovetail with the continuity of the focus of Source, this place takes on a whole new light. It spins in its orbit in a whole new way, and you feel well-being in a whole new level, you see. The richness of your life is completely dependent upon your understanding of that continuity and your willingness and ability to dovetail your energy with that energy. And when you get crossways of it, you feel ornery. Yes. When you get crossways of it, your world begins to fall apart. The continuity of your world, the well-being of your world is disrupted. Yes?
Yes.